when you weak just like a Sunday.
What's going on, everybody? My name's Danny Ferrari.
My name's Parker Immense.
We are Excellent Sound, and we are finally back with a tutorial video, my friend.
Oh, we are so back.
We're so back. It's been a lot of podcasts going on lately, but today we are back with a tutorial video. And we got to talk about something, right? Listen,
tell them what it is, dude.
Everybody is always talking about how Skrillex's sound design is always like so complex, right? We hear his growls. You know, he's using massive serum FM8. Nobody even knows how to use FM8, right? It's so complex.
S-tier sound design.
S-tier sound design, right? Everyone's always talking about how just insane, you know, innovative, and all these sounds are sounds we've never heard before, right?
Yeah.
But nobody's talking about the one-click bass.
Nope.
Nobody, right?
Not a single person.
You know, and you know why that is? Because Parker made that term up.
Yep.
But we're gonna
take that, Kyle Beats.
Take that, Kyle Beats. That's right. But we're gonna show you what we mean by a one-click Skrillex bass right here in this video. So let's jump into the video.
Let's do it.
Like the video, subscribe, comment, and let's get into it. The one-click bass in this amazing track, Make It Bum Dem, is such a good track, right? It's one of his most popular tracks, bro.
Dude, it's a classic, bro.
It's a
classic, man.
Right? Far Cry, right?
Yep.
Everybody recognizes it from Far Cry. We had an awesome TikTok video.
You're burning crops, dude.
That's right.
You're killing drug dealers, dude. Or don't say the K word.
Nope.
Don't say the K word.
Ketamine?
You're K. No,
Oh.
not that one either.
Got it.
We're already demonetized.
Corn. You could say corn.
That's exactly.
Or
There it is.
PDF files. That's my favorite. But you start hearing this. So we got that bass today. We're gonna be showing you how to make that and how the one-click aspect of it, right? Why it's so great. It's
just
so
one
cool.
click, dude.
Just a one click,
That's
right?
it.
And what we do here at Excellent is we remake everything from scratch. So of course, you can hear the entire remake right here. And don't forget, we also have this part. Giant pain in the ass to make that shit. But yeah, we have the entire remake here. We did the entire song, right?
Yep.
And one of the reasons why we did that is for a very, very special reason, right?
Dude, it's the anniversary, dude.
The anniversary of Gorilla, and what we're doing is we're celebrating. It's the holidays. We just did, for the first time ever, we dropped a Gorilla expansion pack.
It's one of our biggest packs, so we had to do something special for the anniversary, you know?
Exactly.
Go to Hawaii, hold hands, you know?
Kiss a little bit.
Maybe a ring. Maybe a
there
ring
might
right
be a
here,
ring in the future. We'll see.
A gorilla ring.
We'll see. Yeah, so we're celebrating. We're doing an expansion pack. It's got 150 new serum presets in the Gorilla style and 5 brand new project file remakes, right? This one included. And two of those project files are actually IDs, which are not even out yet. So super excited about that. You guys will see that more.
Those are crazy. That's
Yes.
a huge surprise.
Link is in the description. And for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, you don't know what Gorilla is, right? We have an awesome total Gorilla bundle for those newcomers.
Yep.
Check that out. Link is in the description. We'll explain more of that in the future. But let's go ahead and let's jump into it. Let's talk about how we make this bass.
Yep, let's do it.
So I think what makes this bass so special is the simplicity of it, right? It's actually just 2 sine waves. We've kind of talked about this before. This sound has actually been released in one of our packs, but all the other sounds in this entire remake have not been. We had never done this. We just did the one sound. But basically, if you start off with just a basic sine wave like this, right now I have it just set to saw wave, so it should be sounding like this. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and set that to a sine wave, and we're gonna leave it at 0, okay? And then what I'm gonna do is you're gonna make 2 LFOs for this sound, okay? You're gonna make an LFO that's like this. This is like a little bit more of a rounded triangle. I think this sound was originally made in Massive, and we're gonna be using some of the Massive features in order to accomplish that in Serum. You could do this in Massive too if you just kind of follow, you know, you have to tweak it probably a little bit, but we're using like kind of like a rounded, I think he probably used the sound or the bending U shape, but this sounds the best for it, at least in Serum from what we found. And then your second LFO shape is going to be sort of this like sort of curved halfway, and this is going to be something which we'll show you later. It's going to be on our master tune. So the first LFO, now we got that set up. Let's go ahead and turn our level all the way down on oscillator A, and let's go ahead and apply this LFO to this level knob, okay? Make sure it's set all the way up, set it to 100. Make sure this is set to trigger and quarter notes. Wump, 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 right? And then what you can do is you can change it if you want to hear it. You can kind of tell from that. All right, so now that we got that going, let's go ahead and initiate our next oscillator, which is gonna be another sine wave, okay? Another sine wave, but this sine wave is gonna be at +4 semitones, sorry, at +4 octaves, okay? We're gonna do the same thing where we're gonna go ahead and apply the LFO to the level knob over here, and we're gonna go ahead and set that to 64. It adds this kind of like higher harmonic to it, right? Because all a sine wave is a harmonic. So you basically, if I pull this up on an EQ, I just have 2 harmonics. Just the low octave and the high, because that's all a sine wave is. Kind of interesting if you think about it like that, okay? So this will be available for free in the download description below for you guys, along with the rack that we made for it. Okay, now that we got that, another thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and set the warp to sync, right? And we're going to go ahead and put a macro on that. So go ahead, this is for the second part of it. This is for you guys that want to mess with it and tweak it. Throw like macro on it, just drag this over to the sync knob and set that at 41. All right, let's see how that's sounding just in context. Right, it's not doing the movement yet that we want. We probably want it to be faster, which is probably gonna be I think, 8th note triplets is the way to do it. Now, I didn't set the random and phase. This is really important. Me and Parker might do a video on this because we learned some really cool tricks from Joyride the other day. I'm totally gonna share what they did, but about random, about phase of sine wave basses like this. If you guys wanna see a video on that, let us know in the comments below. It's literally a trick that Joyride showed us himself the other day. It's insane. But basically, when you have the phase, this essentially is telling you where the start point of the sound is going to be. So like this sine wave, it's essentially starting in the middle. But if it's set to random, it's going to start at different random points, right? The reason why they do that is to make sure that it doesn't phase. But the best way to really ensure that would be to set the random all the way down, right? And make sure that it's set to whatever point in the phase that you want. So this would be in the middle, this would be the far left, this would be the far right. And then on the other one, you would essentially also set the random all the way down. And then you would essentially change the phase. Like you could be here and you could be there. And we can get into that more lately. But for this bass, we don't really need to worry about that. I don't think as much. We'll just go ahead and leave these at random because that's how we did it initially. And I don't think he really cared about that. And I don't think there's too many phasing issues with this sound anyway. But I just wanted to mention that. It's a good little nugget notch right there if you smoke that shit up. Next thing, okay, this is the big thing. We're talking about a massive bass here, right? And if we're talking about a massive old school Skrill bass, I feel like this is the sound I wish he would have kept going with a little bit more. This is like the origin of Red Lips.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like this sound,
it's almost there.
It's almost there. You can see how he went from this sound into like the sound like of Red Lips, which we all know is like one of my favorite sounds.
Legendary, dude.
So if we take a Scream low pass filter, this is what's in stock in Massive. I have the mix turned down all the way. You can adjust the mix in Massive too. We have it set to 69, right? Because we're bros like that. Yep. We're gonna go ahead and set that to 69. Set the Scream, this is really important, to 53. Set the drive to 22. The cutoff to 1800 or 1272. It's gonna say that because we're gonna put an LFO on it. And the resonance at 57. Let's grab our LFO, let's start throwing it on shit. So let's go ahead and first put it on the cutoff. Make sure both A and B oscillators are going into this filter. I'm gonna go ahead and bypass that so you guys can see. Make sure it's going bipolar at 100. And like I said, the cutoff is right there. Resonance at 57. Drive is gonna be at 22. And then we're gonna go ahead and apply this same LFO to the drive, and that's gonna be set to 2. And then also on the Scream side of the things, we're gonna go ahead and apply this LFO, and this one is gonna be going backwards, so going -7. So the Scream's gonna be closing a little bit. So let's go ahead and unbypass that so you can hear it. It's starting to come together a little bit, right? Because there's a lot of distortion in this Scream low pass. Now, we need to make sure that we also initiate the sub-oscillator here. So let's go ahead and add a sub-oscillator, and let's go ahead and apply the LFO to the level knob, turn the level knob all the way down, and go ahead and set that to 86 and direct out. Now look at our harmonics now. They're getting a little hairier. We're even adding some. These added harmonics, this is what the Scream filter is actually. I wish you could freeze on this. That'd be cool so I can like explain. But this is what the Scream filter is adding.
Do with Pro Q.
I could have just pulled that up. But this is what the Scream filter is. So our 2 harmonics now, look, they're hairy. they got some pubis on them. They've been maturing. They've been going through puberty, right? They're becoming a man. They have pubescent hair on them.
And they're just getting cut off.
They're getting cut off. They're just a little, yeah, they'll start trimming once they get a little bit older. Right now we're just growing that shit out.
Oh man.
And then we got a couple more pubescent hairs here as well. These are from the Scream filter, and the Scream filter's adding hair. It adds hair on the balls.
Yep.
We've been saying that.
It does. It does.
Perfect example. Okay, now that we got that, let's go ahead and continue on with the video. So before we get into the one-click bass, because it's about to happen right now, you guys are about to see when this thing's gonna turn into the one-click bass.
Yep.
I wanna go ahead and mention something real quick. If you're a producer and you're not using project file remakes to help you get better, what are you doing? Remakes and project files are a great way for producers to hone their skills in song structure, sound design, and mixing and mastering. I know it's helped us out a ton and continues to sharpen our skills every single day. So if you're looking for the most accurate remake project files and a ton of exclusive presets and sounds, then you gotta check out our Patreon. We upload a ton of new content every single month for producers. From custom unreleased sounds and producer interviews to project files, serum presets, and racks. And don't forget, every single month you can post your track for feedback. When you join our Patreon, you get access to our entire catalog of sounds since 2018. That's 6 years worth of content and you get to jump right into it. Go check out the link in the description and find the tier that best suits you. Everything we get from our Patreon, we reinvest back into to get better guests and a lot more tutorials and content for you guys. Thanks for your support and let's jump back into the video. All right, so we are almost to the point where we're about to show you guys the one-click bass, okay? But we have to do one more thing. And we're at the point where we say—
Couple more clicks.
Couple more clicks to get to the one click. A few more clicks, then we'll be at one click, right? We have to do one more thing, and we're gonna show you how the sausage gets made, as they say, right? This is the main point, is which you see how the sausage is made, right?
Danny loves sausage.
I love sausage. It's a great reference point, and it tastes great, right?
I love sausage in the morning.
I know you do. Love it all day. Okay, so let's do that first. So first what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and add an MG low 12 filter, set the cutoff at 172, the resonance all the way down, the drive at 21, the fat all the way down, pan in the middle, and the mix at 94. And let's add that LFO on bipolar mode to the cutoff and set that to 92. Now we're bringing that whip back, right? And ladies and gentlemen, I'm so happy to show you, right? We go from this, we add one click of a diode distortion with a little bit of LFO on the drive all the way up on some distortion. And of course, the two sine waves, right? One sine wave at 0, one sine wave at +4, low pass filter, distortion.
There it is. There it is.
As soon as you add that heavy distortion to it, it changes the sound, right? It manipulates it into this heavy sound. Now, I know we put an LFO on it, but let's say I bypass this LFO and I just had the drive up. I mean, it's nasty, right? Even if I take off the filter, right? We even still have that nice, heavy, classic Skrillex bass. It's there, you can hear it, the origins of it, right? The one-click bass, ladies and gentlemen, is a distortion, right? A very, very heavy distortion on two sine waves. And the reason why that sounds so good is because the sine waves are only two harmonics, like we said. If we put it on a saw, there's already a ton of harmonics going on, so it's kind of fighting. So sometimes it's better to, if you're like trying to manipulate a sound, like maybe think about starting from something like a little bit simpler, like a sine wave. You have more room to craft and to sort of create these awesome sort of harmonics yourself. You have more control, as I would say.
Yeah, Crankdat uses this technique all the time.
Right.
Like so many of his drops, he has the dual sine lead.
Right.
And it's so sick.
And if you notice, if you take like a square wave, it'll sound good with distortion. Obviously, other waves sound good. But try putting distortion on things like a triangle wave because they don't have a ton of harmonics. And sine waves, right? You're going to be able to craft the sound a lot more. And then adding that, again, all we're doing on this is adding a +4 harmonic. Another thing that we could do, this is kind of interesting, is instead of adding this, right, you could essentially just add that harmonic in over here somewhere if you wanted to, and you would get the same result. I hope that makes sense to you guys. But it's actually kind of cool because with Serum, you can actually edit the wavetable. So if we wanted to do another oscillator, say, you could skip this part, right, and you could just find out where this harmonic is hitting. I can even show you guys that right now, right? This is a nice little nudge. You guys should smoke this up. Cue the music, okay? This is gonna be important. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna turn up the volume on this. I'm just gonna show you. So we have a sine wave at +4. Oh, let me turn off the sub. (743 hertz, right? Now, if I take this off and I just turn on a regular basic sine wave, I turn this up, right? I have my one harmonic, right? What I can do, and this is what's really cool, is I can go ahead and add a harmonic. I don't know if it's here. So I probably need to go a little bit down. Maybe it's like over here. Nope, that's an odd harmonic. Maybe it's here. Yep. I literally have the same result just from doing that, which is so cool. Look. And then if I want, I could just do this. I bet you it'll sound the same.
And it frees up another oscillator.
I feel smart as fuck right now.
You like
that was pretty
dude?
cool, right?
Bro, you're high on knowledge.
Yeah,
dude.
that was a sick nug. Make that into a f***ing clip, boys.
Yep.
For f***'s sake.
Clip that.
You can make this with just one oscillator by just adding this. Because look, we're just adding the harmonics. Would you guys start getting into, we have a whole entire theory. You guys have never even seen us on this shit, but we have a whole entire crazy concept, which we're going to release soon, about how we manipulate wavetables to create some amazing sounds for you guys.
It's going to be sick. It's going to be sick.
So let's get back to where we were, because we're not done yet. I'm going to put that back to how it was. I'm going to go ahead and add our oscillator, right? So we're doing this the other way. We'll turn this back down. And then let's go ahead. This is where we were. Okay, so let's get back into it. So now that we got that, let's go ahead and add some hyperdimension, right? Just a little bit of hyperdimension. Don't worry about the hyper side, just a little bit of dimension, 29% and 14%. Kind of sounds like a little reverby.
Yeah.
Because it has a very wideness to it.
Nice bass.
And then of course a multi-band compressor. This is all stock, it's all 90-90, and then this is at 14.3. And because we're using a multi-band, we're kind of losing that whippiness. So what we did is we kind of made our own filter by doing this with the EQ. We shelved both sides, set the frequency to 107, the Q to 60, the gain down to 17.3, and then on the right side, we went ahead and shelved to 3420, Q at 60, gain all the way down to minus 24. Add LFO 1 to the gain on the left, you got 30, and then on the right, you got 69. Ah, it's twice. There's that whip back. A little bit of reverb for some space. Let's go ahead and add, I think I just have a macro on it. Yeah, I just put a macro on it, but you guys can do that however you want. Let's hear it in context. So good. Now, let's go ahead and get into just a little bit of processing and we'll wrap this bad boy up. Okay, so now if you want, you can go ahead and add some OTT to it. We went ahead and put this rack in the description. Some highs, some mids, some lows. Time all the way up. A little bit more reverb if you want, if you're feeling spicy. Cut the lows because we're layering it with the sub, and a little bit of high shelf. I would probably take the release out of, I would probably take the reverb off of this one and just use the abletons. Yeah. And then what's interesting too is, remember how we put that macro on, right? There's a part in the song where he changes it and we have that macro on the sync where the sync goes up. So what happens is it changes the pitch of it, watch. You can see the sync is being automated here, right? So that's what's happening is we have that macro now being automated. I could show you guys if I just touch this, you guys can see right there. The sync is up. And that's also kind of like adding like another octave to it if you wanted, right? To have a little bit of variation. So it's a really, really cool sound. I love this sound. It's really, really great for developing and learning stuff about sound design. I definitely learn how to make like these sine-based distorted sounds. You'll get a really good fundamental of sound design. And make sure if you want to learn a ton more about sound design, make sure you guys go pick up the Gorilla Expansion Pack, which is available now at our website. Link is in the description. And if you want even more sounds and more project files, check out the entire Gorilla Total Holiday Axis Gorilla Major Finally.
You forgot the
Ultimate.
one key word.
Is it Ultimate?
Anniversary.
Anniversary.
It's the anniversary,
of
Gorilla, dude.
Gorilla bundle,
Put
right?
some gorillas on the screen
There's like,
holding hands
yeah,
with the fucking
put
bridesmaid.
Harambe.
You know what I'm saying?
Lying on the floor. There's like 400 presets. There's like 11 project files. It's insane. Check out the link in the description. And of course, we have Black Friday deals going on like crazy. So make sure you guys just go check the website. This is where you've been saving up all your coin to get some excellent stuff, to get the best deals. Right now is when it's going to happen all year, right? So thank you guys so much for watching. Parker, you got anything else for the
I
people?
couldn't have said it better myself, dude.
That's what we do. Like the video, subscribe, support us on Patreon. We love you guys. We'll see ya. We're out.
Just like a Sunday.